of Guyana.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for convening this briefing with the requisite urgency. I welcome the participation of His Excellency the Prime Minister of Qatar and His Excellency the Deputy Prime Minister of Jordan in today's meeting. I also thank the delegations of Algeria, Pakistan, and Somalia for requesting the meeting and express appreciation to Under-Secretary General Rosemary DiCarlo for the important information provided regarding Israel's military strike on Doha this Tuesday. Mr. President, Guyana condemns this violent act by Israel, which is a flagrant violation of international law and a direct and unprovoked assault on the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the State of Qatar. We noted the destruction caused by the attack and that a Qatari national was killed. We express our full solidarity with the Amir and people of the State of Qatar. Mr. President, international law is under threat, and the Middle East region has unfortunately been the theater of too many frequent and serious violations of international law. Syria, Iran, Yemen, Lebanon, and now Qatar have all suffered violations of their sovereignty and territorial integrity by Israel, following unilateral decisions by the latter to militarily strike these countries. Just yesterday, we received reports of Israel's attack on Yemen involving strikes on civilian and residential facilities and the killing of several persons. Guyana reiterates its strong condemnation of these violations of international law and calls for full accountability for these crimes. The culture of impunity must not be allowed to take root, and this is precisely what is happening in the face of the Council's inability to respond decisively to these breaches of the peace and acts of aggression. Israel's protracted war in Gaza and its unlawful occupation of Palestinian territory remain at the center of the instability in the Middle East. Ending the war in Gaza and resolving the question of Palestine are therefore urgent priorities that the Council must advance pursuant to its responsibility for the maintenance of international peace and security. We further stress that the efforts of mediators to end the war in Gaza and to secure the release of the remaining hostages are seriously undermined and complicated by actions such as those taken by Israel on Tuesday. The success of the mediation efforts depend on the good faith engagement of all parties. The bombing of representatives of one party in the territory of one of the mediators risks setting back peace efforts. Israel's actions also belie its stated commitment to bring the hostages home. The State of Qatar has been a consistent ally in fighting terrorism and has been instrumental in the mediation efforts alongside the United States and Egypt to bring about a diplomatic solution to the war in Gaza and to secure the release of hostages still held there. Israel's recent actions do not in any way help these efforts. In the context of the foregoing, Guyana makes the following 4 appeals. First, the State of Qatar must be redressed for the unlawful act committed against it by Israel. The international order is premised on the rule of law, and states cannot simply contravene international law and the UN Charter in pursuit of unilateral objectives. Repeated violations of international law, if consistently met with no firm response from international organs such as the United Nations Security Council, risk engendering chaos and instability. Second, Israel's brutal war on Gaza must end immediately, unconditionally, and permanently. The catastrophic and man-made suffering to which civilians are subjected, and which has now escalated to famine, is a daily and painful reminder of how much this war continues to cost Palestinian civilians. Guyana urges the Security Council to take appropriate and urgent action in keeping with its responsibility to protect Palestinian civilians. Third, Guyana appeals to Israel to cease its warmongering in the already volatile Middle East. Too many fires have been ignited in the region, presenting serious risks to international peace and security. Israel must abide scrupulously with its obligations under international law. Fourth and final, Mr. President, we need strong political will to resolve the question of Palestine in a just, peaceful, and comprehensive manner. 8 decades is too protracted a period to have an entire nation living in a state of flux, marked by recurrent cycles of violence and oppression. This goes against all the values of the United Nations. Until we settle the Palestinian question, our work will not be truly comprehensive in reach. We urge all Council members and the wider membership of the United Nations to resolve that the 80th year of our organization would be the year in which we take strong and positive actions for the Palestinian people in their just struggle for peace and self-determination. Guyana resolves to doing its part to this end. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Guyana for the statement. I now give the floor to the representative of France.
Merci.